Whoa. Hey everyone. Look at this cool hat that I have. It's really cool. It says kindness prevails. It is totally awesome. Okay, let's begin. Oh, hey everyone. I have nothing left. I am done. I'm done. Sorry, I feel like the teacher's facade is like falling off, and I'm just like, okay, like, just let me sleep. Just let me watch Netflix. Just let me cry and listen to Enya. But we can't do that yet because we got some TCR to do. Honestly, I feel like the cracks in my sanity are revealing my inner self. So let's pump up this party. Am I recording? Yes, I'm recording. Cool. Yeah, let's pump up this party. So a nice shout out to Laura from 1C. Thank you, Laura. Discussing with you, you came up with this nice idea that we can do this like too long didn't watch, because I feel like sometimes the pitfall of YouTube videos, you're just like, okay, like get to the friggin' point already, like we don't care. So that is my intention today. My intention today is just basically let's write a conclusion. Let's look at the overview of the paper. So the too long didn't watch is here you go, right in front of you. This is the structure that I hope to see for your theoretical communication research literature review. So starting off, basically you have the yeah. Let's kind of do some flashy graphics here to mask that I'm dead inside. For those less strategic learners, for the deep learners or the surface learners, let's just get into it. So for the introduction, what I hope to see when you are structuring your paper is just your hook or your introduction to the topic. What you've done for the previous homework for week 5, this is basically it. So if you've provided an example that has demonstrated your comprehension of like fleeting attraction, for example, just off the top of my mind, Annalena, you talked about Coca-Cola and fleeting attraction. You know, literally, you can put that in as your hook, as your introduction to the topic. Then you demonstrate your comprehension. You talk about the topic, and it's also nice to talk about it like within the client, right? So you're not only talking about you're not only introducing your theory, but you're introducing the topic, so that an online web store called Where Are You wants to understand which persuasive technique could be interesting to look at, and for the purposes of this paper, you have decided to choose theory blank. Yeah, so you relate this all to the topic, and then you generate your research question. This sounds really easy peasy. Of course, there's going to be some more words in there. There's max 300 words for this component. Last year, it was 150 words, but that was just a little bit too short for some students. So use 300 words max. Get to the point, generate your research question, and then you might want to have a couple sentences in which you break apart this theory into your two aspects. It could be, sub theories like attraction and similarity, and you might want to give little explanations there before you go into your literature search questions. Or if you're structuring this different and you have your aspects about like gender, etc., this would be really nice. Like if I'm using gender and parasocial relationships theories, I could just put in like a claim that gender has an effect on how people generate these parasocial interactions, and this, put in a citation, and then this leads to your literature search question. Then you do aspect number 1. You reintroduce your literature search question number 1. You have some comprehension here. You give some evidence. You have this beautiful thing called nuance. Like you put all these comprehension little bits in this beautiful, I don't want to say seductive because science isn't seductive at all, but you put in some different claims and then put it all together in some of this nuance. Yeah. So then you go into aspect number 2. Do all this. This is a speed run. I'm sorry. And then you go into the conclusion, and the conclusion is fabulous because you basically, it's just like the aspects. You reintroduce your research question, you combine the answers of literature question, the answers that you got from literature search question one, literature search question two, and you answer your research questions. Now, the important point here is that at the end of the conclusion, sometimes we see some really nice implications. So there might be practical implications like, Clara or where are you should consider doing blah, 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 blah. They should consider using this theory with these sorts of, you know, things in mind. From a theoretical level, you might notice that there's no literature on like certain topics. So this, of course, is an implication for the conclusion. The conclusion for your conclusion, you might literally say like we don't have enough information, and there should be some more research done on, for example, parasocial relationships and cats. Um, so yeah, one of the important points is this implications, and you'll see in the final paper that you write that the conclusion of the literature search will end with these questions that you need to answer with research. So it's very groovy. Like you will see that you're writing this literature search chapter in your final paper, and then it will end on these questions that you conduct literature research on. So it's like you do this and then you go into your interviewing skills that you've learned in practical research skills one. Isn't this connection so cool? Yes. Am I lying?